Hey, everybody, and welcome to our live show. We're glad that you're joining us again. It's our second live show of the year, which is
I'm like playing with
exciting.
lighting, and I'm like, oh, ignore these lights, y'all.
That's
What do
really
you
good
think?
lighting, actually, right
Do you
there.
like it?
Yeah.
Lighting is a struggle for me in this house. There we go.
I think it's
It's
working
doing
out for
great.
you. Chris says, hey. Hi, Chris.
Hi,
Hope you're
Chris.
having a good Friday. Anything planned for the weekend, Chris? Let us know. Well, goodness, my hair's still wet. I just Matt's new pillows.
Well, I'm actually sitting on pillows. No, I'm in at the back of our bedroom, and we put the love seat back here because when Keith moved in, he had an extra couch that actually fit way better on the living room in the living room on the first floor. So we took the big couch and put it in our loft upstairs, and then we put the love seat and coffee table set up in the back of our bedroom because this area is kind of a weird little space that it's changed a lot over the 5 years we've lived here, but it is a lot colder in this room than I expected. So we did a countdown. I went running for a long sleeve shirt and lighting.
I wished it was cold in this room. It is not. It was pretty warm
Usually I'm
here
sweating. You'll
today.
notice I'm a little red faced in some of our videos. And sometimes when we record a lot in one day, it gets hot. So this room is our bedroom is right over the garage. So the
Mm.
farther to the wall I am, which right now I'm right literally at the front corner of the house, it's just all heat. So during the day, or of course, Texas summer between, April to October, I'll turn the fan on, but then you start getting cold because you've been a little sweaty, and then of course you
Yeah.
get cold from that, and then so that's why I'm wearing a hoodie in a lot of the videos because it's easier to keep the house a couple degrees cooler to keep it stable rather than it doing this because then it costs a lot more to mess with it.
I wished it was cold in this house, but it is not. And hopefully it'll cool down tonight and it'll get cooler in the house. I do have to say, everybody, I need a haircut, by the way. And thinking about that, Matt was a little hairdresser
Yeah,
recently.
Salon de Matt was open today. I actually cut David and Keith's hair pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I'm actually the one that does that. I cut my own, and then I'll have David clean up my ears and neckline. But I usually cut all their hair. Keith cuts his hair throughout he'll buzz it down throughout the month, and then whenever I cut David's hair, I'll clean up his, shave the back and clean up his neckline and ears, and um, uh, I try to do those things. Jesse
Jonathan,
McCarthy.
yes, Jesse McCartney is co-hosting tonight. No,
uh,
I just showered before the show because we've been working outside on like redoing the backyard, and so I was like really hot and dirty, and it was just gross, and so I had to like rinse off real quick, and so my hair's wet. It is a little long, so I need to cut it soon. I'm gonna do colors. We're gonna do a color this time, but
are you
yes, it
stopping by the
is.
salon, Cody?
I've learned to do my hair now myself. Like I'll get the
Saves a lot of
trimmers
money.
and just like shave the sides and back, and then I'll trim up the top. Um, and usually though, if Justin's here, he'll do the back, and if Gabe's here, he'll trim up the top. But yeah, I've learned just to do it all myself. So that's nice, and yeah, it does save a lot of money. And then of course I do all my bleaching and coloring, so that's even more money. I think anybody can do it if they put their mind to it. It's pretty easy unless you want something pretty intricate. But if it's just like simple
Yeah,
hair, it's
like
easy.
David's isn't super complicated. I just shave it up to here, and then he likes to style it a certain way. So I just I'll thin it out on the edges, so when
Mm-hmm.
it's combed over, it doesn't look like a big thick block. Um, but the problem is his hair back here is a couple of cowlicks, so it causes his hair to kind of like palm tree up at the back there. So I kind of have to play with the back line a little bit to kind of shave it off. I used to call. I remember when Chris had highlights and like always had highlights. His hair was always perfectly coiffed.
Also,
Yeah.
everybody,
I,
nails, new nails. We have neon green going on today. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. We're gonna bleach it again and do probably like cotton candy pink would be. I think the color that we're gonna go for this next time.
for the hair.
Yeah, for the
Ooh,
hair.
spicy. I hear about cowlicks every time I get my hair cut. Yeah, I used to have one right here. I don't know if you remember, my hair would stick up like straight up here or would part, but then my hairline receded and Quinn. Oh, hi, Quinn.
Hello, Quinn.
Oh my goodness, that's a popular night. I know we were off last week, but I was out of town. So we thought about doing it from the hotel room, but I had a long day of driving. So when Cody was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" and I'm like, "I am laying on my hotel bed, not moving right now." It wasn't the worst drive ever. Just 3.5 hours through South Texas, with cities like populations of 1,900. So I only stopped to pee at rest stops because there was a lot of not so friendly flags and stickers that
Mm.
surrounded being traffic in places, because you even taking the highway, you still will pass through some of these small towns for maybe a minute or two. I mean, and I'm not exaggerating, like max 5 minutes you're in some of these places. And yeah. I was like, I'm not getting out here, I have to pee, I can wait. I consciously decided I would rather pee myself than get out at some of these places. I did not pee myself. I was able to just drive to a rest stop. So I stopped at the same one or two stepped. I stopped at the same rest stop there and back.
Yeah.
I did have one moment though, because I was in the Rio Grande Valley, which is a border town, um, the Texas Mexico border. Someone asked me if it was a state border, and I was like, oh wait, like I didn't think about it. It's like you don't live here, you don't think about those things. But I almost said the Texaco border, Texas Mexico border. So when I was driving back, like, so I'm driving north back home. Um, I'm gonna babysit you guys for a moment. Cody's gonna
I
have
have
to
to leave
clean up
for a
a
sec.
technical issue. So, so I'm driving back north, and there is, if you know those way stations for 18 wheelers, one of them, one of them comes up and has a sign, beware of any contraband, don't have it, don't drive with that, blah blah blah. And I'm pulling up. But then there's right next to that is one for cars. So all of us get directed off the road, and I'm like, is this normal? And some guys like, waving people through. So it looked like a toll booth, but there was just a guy standing there asking if there were people in your car. And I was like, no, it's just me. He's like, okay, head on through. And uh, I'm not the most solid navigator ever when I drive. I get a little anxious, so I'm always afraid I'm going the wrong direction. Even so, I'll look like 40 times. So I looked again just to make sure I hadn't accidentally selected something in Mexico to drive to instead of home, or that the GPS hadn't freaked out and taken me somewhere else and I hadn't noticed, because I'm in an area I don't know. I don't. This is the first time I'd been to this area, so I don't have those familiar landmarks. If you drive through your state enough time or take the same highways, you always know kind of where you're going. So that was my, oh my god, am I driving through Mexico and I somehow missed all this? um I don't know when Cody's coming back. He's just cleaning up a technical issue, and he told me he'd be back momentarily. um but I don't know, for all of you guys in school, I'm now in, my classes are all posted. David's classes are all posted. If you didn't know, he starts nursing school this semester. I am in my second semester of it. However, because he's in an accelerated bachelor's program, he will finish in spring 23 with a bachelor's degree. I will finish with an associate's. So I will be staying on at my school for a semester or two to finish up my bachelor's degree there. Why am I not in the same school as David? They didn't accept me at the time I applied, and then I just didn't apply again because we all sent out all our feelers, and I got accepted, so I just cut off everything and took that one. David got accepted to my school, and then an alternate spot at his, and his is more flexible. He can work because he does all his lectures online, and then only has to be available Saturdays and Sundays to do clinicals and you go to a skills lab where they teach you how to do all these things, like putting catheters and nasogastric tubes and, take vital signs, all these things. So he does that Saturdays and Sundays, whereas I did it on, I think my lab day was Wednesday last semester. So, Chris, going to Georgia with my friend who is hunting, I see Confederate flags as soon as we cross the Georgia line. Yeah, yeah. I see a lot of that in Texas. I saw a lot of that when I lived in Florida. A lot of my family is they're strongly Confederate. They love wearing the heritage not hate crap, which is not correct. But we don't need to gas on about that. We just know they're wrong because supporting treason was a problem then, and it's still not so great now. Chris, boo school. I'm starting my classes this past week, and I already hate my professors. This semester, last semester I had 4 classes in clinicals. This semester I have 2 classes in clinicals, and both of my classes are my theory classes, and they're taught by the same professor. So I'm only in school Wednesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 11 both mornings, and I am really relieved. And then my clinical day is Saturday this semester. So, and my clinical is from 6:30 in the morning to 5:30, but 1 day a week. So it's very just there. That's it. I don't have to do anything else. And right now we're my theory are on Zoom the first few weeks, so I don't actually know if we're going back this semester. Allegedly we're returning in February, but I don't really know that. I do have to go to campus this Tuesday. They're having us come in to do an orientation for clinicals. They're supposed to tell us where we're going. They're supposed to tell us which site we're going to do, and they're even taking us to our lab. We have a lab in the school where everything we practiced, and so to kind of give us a chance to kind of review all our skills and before we hit the clinical setting again, because we've had a 6-week break. The other fun thing about the lab is it's 2 hospital bays, and in case of a catastrophe or emergency, they can actually function as a short-term emergency triage area. So your classes like last semester where it's almost all one class are split up. Yeah, my classes are actually split up. Even last semester, they were all split up. They just had my lectures all on the same day. So last semester, I was only in class for theory on Tuesdays, but my classes were 8:30 in the morning to noon, or 8 to noon every day, or 8 every Tuesday, and then from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock was a class, and then 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock was a class. And then Wednesdays, I had class from 9 or 9:30 to 3 every Wednesday, and that was my skills lab where I was in the lab in full scrubs, in full uniform, and we're learning how to do, tubes and catheters and give injections and give meds. Quinn, I'll let you practice an NG tube on me. I need to lose 20 pounds anyway. Oof. So the demonstrations, the week before we learn a new skill, we have all these videos and lectures we do on them so we can see what's happening. So they do those on live patients, people that actually maybe need them. They're volunteers or paid actors and actresses. Like when they demonstrate wound care, how to clean a wound and everything, there are people that actually need these wounds cleaned, and they are having a real nurse is present doing this. This is not somebody guessing their way through. So you are seeing it by a real medical professional. But seeing someone have an NG tube put in and taken out, you could see the trepidation on their face. Like, okay, and they go through the whole thing, and they didn't go slow. Luckily, it wasn't they went half speed to show us. They just do it, and then we can review it as many times as we need, because this person is still a patient and they are still having this done, and they don't want that in there any longer than it has to be. So, and yes, they did show us how to do a catheter on male and female. So yeah, I do know how to do that, and I was checked. I did have a skills check off on that. Now, when I did it, I didn't do it on a live patient. I did it on a mannequin with my teacher, with a one-on-one, with my professor watching, and they show everything, how to stay sterile, how to keep everything clean, and, what to do, what not to do, and you have to pass to continue forward. You get 2 tries or you fail the skill. Nobody failed any skills at all. Everybody got through it. There was a couple times where, they didn't get it. You got 2 tries. They didn't get it right the first time and they got it the second time, because it is unnerving. It can be a little scary because you do want to get it right. And which was really nice, because I am very happy that every student I was with, yeah, everybody gets frustrated at school because no matter what, you're still in school. Um, but it was nice being with confident. I can confidently say that every student I was with, very much wanted to get it right. So even when they were frustrated with the process or anything else, they were absolutely all about patient safety and making sure they learned the right way. But it can be frustrating because you want to get it right or you make a mistake and you know that can affect a patient in the real world setting, but that's why we have clinical practice. Um, let's see. I haven't heard from Cody yet because when he drops off, I can't see him, so I have to wait for him to kind of text me. But um, but yeah, school is it's an adventure for a nursing student, and I think every group has their own issues. When I was finishing my psych degree, it was a very different experience. It was all online, but I didn't need my peers. I used discussion posts every week, but I could work independently. Whereas with nursing school, I kind of have to work with my people. Like we collaborate, we study together, so we have to get creative. How is school going with the new COVID variant? Um, Same. Right now, we're going to be on Zoom for 2 weeks. I'll be on site for clinicals, and that's it. When I go to a hospital, and then that'll be it. So even if they put us all on Zoom, I'll still be on site for clinicals, and we'll just be careful and move on. It's not any different. Like what the news shows is that there's a lot not really talked about. But what's actually happening in a lot of the hospitals is they see empty hospitals, but you're seeing empty like cardiac units. You're seeing empty like ortho units where elective surgeries aren't happening. But one of my colleagues last semester, a nurse walked into the COVID ward, and all covered in in PPE and everything, and showed him this whole bay of people. These all of them are going to die of COVID. And I'm not trying to be graphic. I'm not trying to do this for shock value. I'm telling you, this is the reality of what we see as students and what the nurses are seeing in their hospitals. You have to think, I live in a large city. San Antonio is the seventh largest city in the country. It doesn't feel like it when you're here. It's very spread out, but that that's what's happening. And it's like 99.99% unvaccinated people who are um, dying of COVID. Because although the death rate might be lower, it's lower because a lot of us are vaccinated, and it can still make us really sick. A lot of my classmates are sick with COVID right now. Several of my neighbors, literally across the street, are sick. Excuse me, sick with it. Um, the belief is that it's coming, and that at some point all of us are going to get it. But so all the people, my friends and everything that have had it or have this variant, some have had just a slight cough, and then some are just miserable. They have like a really ugly cold that lasts for about 5 days, but none of them have had to go to the hospital. Yeah. No, I'll say it. The unvaccinated are the ones still dying. Yes, they are. And that's why elective surgeries are being canceled. People don't understand that if the hospital can hold 5,000 people, just say a hospital can hold 5,000 people, it can't hold 5,000 COVID patients. It can't hold 5,000 car accident victims. It's designed for a wide range of things, not all one, you know, just not the COVID, just get it over with. Do not do that. Oh my God, do not do that. Like, Glenn Beck, for example, he didn't get vaccinated.
Mhm.
He's dumbass because he got it once. He's like, well, I've got it. I've already gotten it. I don't need the vaccination. Yeah, and I already had chicken pox. It doesn't stop chicken pox from entering my body. It just stops me from like dying. Kids still die of chicken pox if you can believe that. Like it doesn't happen often, but it absolutely still happens. You know, um, like like I'm not laughing at children dying. I'm just like, but Glenn Beck now has it a second time, and he's like, "Oh, it's going into my lungs," and it's like, you've ever seen those scans of what COVID looks like? COVID lungs look like. It's really ugly. So it's affecting all of us as students trying to go there because they don't really want us caring for COVID patients was the initial plan. And now going forward, I was pretty much told the last semester, it's like, well, it's kind of around, so you guys are just going to have to learn as students how to care for them. No, I strongly disagree because there's a lot of other things I need to know before I hit the floor. So no, I don't want to spend the next year and a half only learning how to really handle COVID patients. Right? We don't know the long-term effects of COVID, but we do know that the long-term effects of long COVID is absolutely a thing, and we know it's devastating for a lot of people. There's everything from cognitive issues to, for guys, ED issue things. COVID party is at the 22 take of bug chaser parties. Tell me you're gay without saying you're gay, like, what do I know about this? Why do I know about this? COVID parties. Yeah, that's a unvaccinated thing. Now, some people are still not accidentally, they're doing it by intentionally going places thinking I'm vaccinated, I'm fine. And yeah, you might not get a really ugly cold, but it's kind of the whole thing of like, flatten the curve. And things really did improve. And then everybody let their guard down after for like 3 to 5 weeks to kind of let it burn out. It's a quick killing disease would burn out really quick because if you die of it within a few days, it doesn't have a chance to spread too quickly because people start dying and everybody's like, oh no, stay away from me. Something like COVID takes a few weeks to spread and activate and take off. And so you don't really know how far you spread it. I could still absolutely spread it. Like, it's a concern going back to the hospital because so David and I are both nursing students. We both got our booster shots, and if you're curious, so I got it a week or so ago. My side effects, I got in my left arm, I got in my left shoulder, my left arm hurt a little bit. I did have a slightly swollen armpit, like a lymph node in my armpit was slightly swollen.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't hurt or anything. I just noticed it for about a day. I got it around 3, 4 in the no, it was about 6 in the evening on a Tuesday. By Wednesday at 6, that was already gone, and I had a sore spot like here in my neck, like a little lymph
Yeah.
node was swollen up like a little spike. But it didn't hurt. I just noticed it. It was tender if I touched it, and again, that was gone by the next night by bedtime. I had a stiff neck, and that was probably the worst symptom. And I was tired the next day, but it wasn't as bad as the second
All
one.
minor things versus getting
Yeah, very,
COVID.
very minor. And considering what I've seen from COVID, very minor. Very, very minor. One of our vaccinated students got it about 3 weeks before finals. He and his girlfriend were so sick with COVID. It was likely the Omicron variant because they were both terribly sick because they didn't have a booster, but they did have the vaccination, and they were in hell. That student actually failed the semester because he missed so much study time and had no energy for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's devastating. And he didn't get the booster when it was available to us. I didn't get it because of my own stupidity until a few weeks ago because they didn't have it available. We were having to make appointments, and I was either in class or not available. Yeah, people are saying they want to get the antibodies. Yeah, everybody thought that at first round, and that's what happened. And look what happened. I don't know how many millions of people have now died worldwide because of it. Chris, enough about that. Next subject. Yes. So I have something to talk about this evening, but Cody is back, so I'll let Cody go
I'm
first.
back. I did want to say, everybody, there is one thing Matt did send me this week. He did make some dinner the other night. He made this delicious meal with homemade sauce. Tell us about this, Matt.
So with David going back to school, I'm not as quick on my feet as David is. He was trained in culinary, so even if it's not something he wants to make, he can think faster on his feet to make dinner. So he bought me a couple of different cookbooks of things we like, and this was basically all your favorite Chinese food, and it was not written by a white guy, by the way. The book was not written by a white. And it was basically Chinese food made easy. And so David's favorite thing is sweet and sour chicken or sweet and sour pork, whichever. Pork is his favorite, but we didn't have pork. So sweet and sour chicken and rice. And David had rice going anyway, so he finished the rice for me. And the dipping sauce is usually made with orange juice. We did not have orange juice. We had pineapple juice. So I used that instead, just kind of trying it. the first time I ever make a recipe, I like to make it by the book, exactly as it is. So I know how it tastes. And so the next time I can kind of change it, I can explain to myself how I want to change it. I was not expecting you to do this, Cody. So that's sweet sour chicken. I cut it apart, deep fried it, made the uh, I can't think of the word, the batter
The
that you roll
batter.
the chicken in. Um, I don't know. Whenever I cut chicken, I always cut off like the tendons and all that extra stuff. So it's just meat. I trim it. I always trim the chicken, and then I cut it and rolled it in that batter and then deep fried it. And we finished the leftovers the next day. The pineapple sauce worked out really well. It was really thick, so you kind of have to keep it at least at a low heat to kind of keep it uh, more. It's a little viscous, but I could
Didn't you say you kind of like that better?
I actually liked it better. It clung to it better. So the next day when I heated it up, I did add a little water. I just microwaved it the next day, and the sauce, but it it was a really I don't know how to explain it. If the orange juice based one is more of a narrow hallway of flavor, like it's more like acute and tart. The pineapple one tasted more like an open field. It was just more light. Um, Yeah, Chris, we actually. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny Apollo. I was thinking of ordering Chinese, but I'm disappointed because I know it's not going to be as good as Matt's food. Oh, thank you, Matt, the chef and nurse. What can you not do? I've been teaching myself to paint. That was the other thing I've been doing. I don't know if we
He
talked about that.
has.
I think we talked about it on one of the episodes
Yeah.
we recorded. Um, I've been teaching
He's been
myself to
painting
paint.
everybody.
I painted 3 or 4 things, and almost all of them are very kind of like Asian inspired, like scenes. That except
Hmm.
for one, it's just kind of it's my preference in style and like what I like to look at. Um, it's comforting to me
Keith
for some reason.
Keith says it was so good.
Yeah, dinner. I was very happy with how dinner cooked. How I was happy with what I cooked and that it turned out. I thought it turned out well. Um, we had actually ordered from this place that has this most delicious teriyaki chicken. We ordered it and it was supposed to be here right around the time Cody and I would normally finish up. They canceled our order and they said they weren't taking any more orders for the night.
Oh
Ugh.
my gosh.
But
Why?
I have
Oh, I think gonna show
I'll
us
say
some
since we're gonna
paintings.
I'm just gonna be excited about things not nursing for the night because I started classes I start this weekend. I've already started them yesterday actually. So all I'm going to be able to talk about for like 3 months is nursing. This one I freehanded myself. This one's a bit basic. Um this is the one I call the walk through the woods to hell because whenever I like to tell somebody off, I like to do it in a way that they enjoy their walk to hell. And that's what I think of. This one I watched so the next ones what I did was I just watched YouTube, and all they do is show you what colors you need, a canvas, and they just start painting. So I have to like kind of stop and rewind it, and if I didn't have the colors, I tried to just guess and make it as close as possible. This one was semi free-handed. I couldn't get the colors right, so I just made up my own. And then this is my favorite, the waterfall. This is what I was most
I
proud
like
of.
that one.
I was sitting there
Yeah.
painting it, and I asked David if he liked it. And he goes, "Honestly, when you were painting it, I was seeing you kept pouring white into the canvas, so I was a little nervous."
No, that was
But
my
yeah,
favorite one.
right. I just thought watching the artist do it. I kept forgetting to paint because I was so into watching her paint. Um, it's just a fantastic artist. So I was just really entranced by watching her do it, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's so good." Oh shit, I've got paint like on my canvas here. Like I need to. A true child.
The other thing I saw that I'm really excited about coming up soon is that Oreos is celebrating 110 years. And so they're going to be coming out with a new flavor.
Oh, please
It
don't
is
let
going
it
to
be
be
something gross.
chocolate confetti cake.
Okay,
Um,
I love
and
Oreos,
so
and now I want
I'm
Oreos.
obsessed with Oreos. I always have Oreos around the house. Uh, and so I'm really excited about this. So this is going to be coming out at the end of the month. Um, the new celebration of 110 years of Oreos. Yeah, I have to get some more Oreos soon. Um, I loved that they used to have like mega stuffed Oreos, which is even more than the double stuffed Oreos. And I was all about the mega stuffed Oreos. Um, it's way better. Let's see. John, Johnny Apollo says the sugar coma will be worth it. Yes, indeed. And also, I do have to say that recently I got Pop Tarts because I think we've talked about it on the podcast before that I am obsessed with brown sugar Pop Tarts and strawberry Pop Tarts.
I love strawberry
So
ones. Oh, they're so
I
good.
I've never had blueberry or cherry ever up until this point. I know it's kind of crazy, but I never had.
I didn't like the
So
blueberry
I
one
got like
very much.
a mixed pack that had blueberry, cherry, and strawberry, and I'm obsessed with the cherry Pop Tarts now. I have gone through the variety pack, all the cherry, and I've gone through a whole package of cherry, and I bought more today. Like I've just been eating it every night. Like I'm obsessed with it.
I think I need to go to the store and get some. Well, actually, I ran out of yogurt and stuff today, so I do need to. I do actually need to go to the store. We usually we do delivery from Walmart, so which handles most of it, and then we'll just step out to Target or HEB whenever we need to. Those like couple little things that are just you should get,
Mm-hmm.
or
Johnny,
you run
no,
out of something.
no, I'd never had cherry Pop Tarts before, but I'm obsessed now. Like they're amazing, and they are so good. And then Chris says that strawberry Pop Tarts are the best. I do love strawberry Pop Tarts. And then he also said, "Did you get your hands on the Barefoot Wine Oreo flavor?" I didn't even
That's
know
a
that
thing.
was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Cody. I'm kind of surprised because you always bring me the weirdest food opinions, like that is something you would be like, hey, I'm gonna send you a bottle and we're gonna drink this together. Oh, that's a really good idea. We should. That's a really good idea.
Okay, Oreo flavored Barefoot Wine. I don't. I'll have to look at and see. I don't,
Do,
so I don't buy a lot of wine, and I don't buy any. We don't buy any wine in the
you don't
stores.
need to.
Actually, we
You
have like
don't need
wine
to.
memberships, and so wine is sent from different wineries, and so we have so much wine. There's like shelves and shelves of wine, and so we never have to buy a bottle of
It's
wine at the
interesting how
store.
you cross the line from like I'm a concern that you might be an alcoholic to oh he's a connoisseur, you know.
Yes, between that and then all of the liquor we have for when I'm doing cocktails, it's it's a lot.
He is actually
Johnny,
sober when we record. He saves his drunken rants
yes.
and beatings for our off days.
Johnny says hashtag Cody likes his cream. That's a good hashtag. We should start that. And cookies and cream too. Yeah. Um, but yeah, cherry pop tarts. I'm obsessed with them now. That's become my fave.
My other favorite is the s'mores Pop Tarts. I really like those. S'mores and strawberry are my
Mm.
favorites. And you cannot have um off-brand Pop Tarts. I am all about off-brand 99% of the time. I truly. But there's a couple things in your life that you should never ever go cheap on. Or at least get the thing that's the better quality. One, your socks. Two, your underwear. And I don't mean just buying like, gay boy jocks and stuff like that. I mean get good quality socks and underwear. Those are the things that are closest to your body, and when you sweat, the material breaks down and you smell weird. It's just please. Those if you invest those things. And number three, Pop Tarts. Get name
Do
brand
you
Pop Tarts.
do you prefer the strawberry with the icing on top or the no icing?
It can go either way. I can if it's one of those things I'm buying regularly, I can alternate just to change just to change it up. I probably
Uh,
shouldn't have with the icing on top because it's probably horrible for you. I don't want to think about how bad it probably is for you. I do like it
I,
without, but I'm actually indifferent.
Yeah, another thing that you should also not get a store brand, I don't think, is Cheez-Its.
Oh yeah,
Get the name
paper
brand,
towels or
and
toilet
also
paper.
ranch dressing. Get the name brand. Don't get
Yeah,
the store bought. Ugh.
Chris, paper towels and toilet paper. Preach. So we probably use one roll of paper towels like every 6 or 8 months here. So we bought a
Wow.
stack of just basic white rags that we use to clean up and scrub. So yeah, we go through them, but they get washed and bleached regularly. So we
Hmm.
have a set of hand towels that we use just for drying, but I have a separate set of rags that I can just kick the crap out of, to scrub and scrub counters and do all those messy kitchen
Yeah.
jobs. And then I can just toss them in, and then I can bleach them and sanitize them and properly clean them. And doing that has saved paper towels. So I can reuse rather than burn through paper towels. Um, Toilet paper, though, yeah, definitely. None of that Scott's. Scott's toilet paper, more like Scott's chafing your ass cheeks. Oh,
And this
wow.
is
That's funnier because I just realized Scott being a real name.
the barefoot wine that Chris was talking about.
Is
Oreo
it
thin
available?
red blend. Do what?
Is it available? Is it something you can actually get?
I think so. I think so.
Should we each go get a
Off,
bottle and then just like we could do a lot of what's a combination of wine and live? La wine. I'm just oh god, please
Johnny,
don't let it be like an awkward word.
he goes through one roll of paper towels every 2 to 3 days. Girl, slow
Girl,
the roll.
we need to talk. I'm gonna send you a stack of Christmas rags.
Okay, Chris is updating us. The wine
The
is
wine is
sold
sold.
out. The
Ah,
wine is sold
shitty.
out.
I wish I could just make your cocktails here, but I don't stock enough of different types of liquors to do everything. Because it would be really fun to kind of have Cody's cocktails, like a Cody's cocktail happy hour or something, where we just kind of sit and drink your cocktails and get hammered. Oh, that's a great way to watch. Like you can really see if I drink, like everybody's face flushes a little bit. It'll make like my rash like highlight, so you can like really see me like cheer up, if you will. Please don't unfollow me on Twitter for that. Unfollow me on Twitter for other things I post and say. um,
What do you have for us, Matt?
oh, I thought you had some. Oh, okay. Just give me 1 second here. Let me pull it back up
Everybody,
here.
we've been also recording some episodes. The new episodes will start debuting. We're going to still stay on Wednesdays, so new episodes of the podcast will come out beginning on January 26th. We have some exciting topics and fun things. We're going to be talking to various different people. We're going to talk to Dr. Jake. Bree's going to be back, and some other new guests. And so it's going to be a lot of fun topics coming. And that'll run until like the end of May. And then we'll have fun summer shows.
Yeah, I'm
Since
really looking forward
Matt is
because
going to
I
have a
just have to
break.
get through. Yeah, I'm gonna get through this next semester, and then I will finish being a level 2 student, and then I'll be a level 3 out of 4 student. My goal is to finish level 4, and then I can sit for my boards exam, which I'm sure I will not be a hysterical psychopath by then. Though I don't think I freaked out at anybody last semester. It was getting close. There was a few moments where I was like, Cody, I cannot do a live tonight because I'm literally like doing flashcards, I'm reading, and I'm not crying yet, but I'm sure eating a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the thing I wanted to talk about, this is something that's a little bit more true to what the podcast was started for. And it's based out of my town that I grew up in, Fort Myers, Florida. In the early 2000s, I believe it was 2007 or so, a mass grave of about 8 men were found in like a 50-foot radius. So not so much a mass grave, but they were all found in the same area. And so the reason we're talking about it is we don't actually know if, we don't know the sexualities of any of them or the situation. So it's kind of a big mystery, and it's been kind of just left alone. They've only identified 3 of the guys. They know that all the victims were between 18 and 49, and they were all white men. That's all they know. And since it's kind of a hometown crime, and some of these people disappeared in the 90s, the ones that were known, and they weren't found until the 2000s. They were found in an area that is actually pretty close to where I grew up. Well, they were found in the town I grew up. I know exactly where they were found. But I sent Cody a map. So the red dot is where they were found. If you see where North Fort Myers is on the other side of that bridge, that is where I grew up, along with Clint, actually. Because, I've been on his podcast. He came over here and did a few things with us. That bridge, you could see the bridges going back and forth. the bridge coming into Fort Myers, the one would be, if you're looking at it on the left, that's the one right before that Clint and I were in a serious car accident right before on the way to school one morning in his junior and my senior year. Fun history, right? Um, okay, Cody, you can take it down so everybody doesn't have to look at a map of, God's waiting room. Yeah, so the reason we're talking about it is because this one, the case really fascinates me. Two, the whole idea of the podcast initially was to talk about things that were generally unsolved, ignored, and to do it in a way that was respectful to the victims, but putting information out there. So, and obviously, true crime fascinates me, but I don't know if any of these people were not straight, but as they were apparently 8 guys all found in the area, who knows? So I thought, um, yeah, Chris, the one in the Dakota. Yes, Chris, that is where that accident happened. We were in Clint's Dodge Dakota. Um, we were in the middle lane, 3 lanes each way. A guy came out of the center turn lane trying to get to a gas station, hit the guy next to us, spun him, and we hit him at 50 in the side.
Mm.
And it was quite the day. Totaled his car. Um, Actually, since then, if you know, I cannot bend my hands back. They don't go anymore because I hit the dashboard with my wrist and sprained both of them. No brakes. I don't actually know if they fractured at all because I was in hell for weeks, and my neck never. It's still swollen slightly on the left side compared to the right. It never really went back, but I also never went to the doctor because my family said I was fine and took me straight to school. Um,
Mm.
awesome. But yeah, I actually can't, like, when I stretch, I have to like lean my hand down and try to get it to bend forward. So whenever I carried trays, I walk in like kind of like a claw position and use my fingers to carry my trays because I can't. I
Mm.
used to be able to
Mhm.
bend my wrist back to touch my fingers could touch my wrists. Not since that day. So,
Goodness.
which is crazy because that accident happened in 2002 or 2003.
Yeah.
It would, well, 2003, fall of 2003, because I graduated in '04. But yeah, so this happened. They have no suspects, no leads, but there is a forensic anthropologist that even came through to look at even the plant life, to kind of see if what was buried with them and, what was around them, just anything that they had on them that they could see, but they were pretty much just skeletal remains. So we don't have. I don't like to speculate. I don't think it's really appropriate to speculate past like, oh, what do you think they were found there or carried there? But I don't like to speculate on anything else. Like I said, I'm not going to speculate whether that could they have been gay. Maybe I don't know, but it seems like 8 guys found in a field uh, should be something we could talk about and kind of see what we find. So my hope is I plan to spend some time. That is the one project I've set aside time to try to work on this semester, because I have ancestry accounts, because I have all these things. Like I said, 3 of the names were looked into or identified, and that was it. So
Mhm.
if they were in any way knew each other, was this a traveling group, anything. So I plan to spend some time looking into it, and that'll be the hometown case. So I thought it'd be an interesting thing to bring up tonight for the live, because what's coming up in season 4, Cody and I are shifting format slightly. It'll still be us talking, of course, and we're doing some guest stuff, but kind of getting back from when we kind of went over news topics, and then I would kind of stop Cody if there's something I wanted to share or say, or just interrupt Cody in general for a news topic that I'm like, this is fucking weird. We need to talk about it. Um, but it's kind of going more to 1 or 2 or 3 topics, kind of just what's happening, and then spending more time on those, and then doing more of the crime related stuff to kind of fill in because it's important to me and it's important to our community, and because we're often ignored. The LGBTQ community in general can be largely ignored by law enforcement and investigations, and especially the older the crime, the more likely it is that they're like, oh, they might not have been straight, and they
Mhm.
just kind of hope it goes away because maybe the family was embarrassed, maybe the person wasn't out, or they were out and the family didn't want it out anyway. um, you know, we've all experienced that even in death, a lot of our community have been shamed, and you know I'm not really known for abiding by those rules anyway, so here we are. So it's not so much trying to be a voice for the voiceless, but it's because I think that just, don't get me wrong, I'm all about activism, but I'm not trying to speak for anybody else. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
this happened and these are the facts and it's unsolved. We should look at this. That's what I'm trying to say. I think more so like staying in my lane but turning on the headlights, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's, I think that's kind of what I try to leave it at. So that's what's coming up for season 4, and this is one of the cases that is kind of a little different than something I would normally want to talk about, but it's from my hometown and it's something I've known about for several years. And it seemed appropriate to talk about and to look into. Um, I only am going to be posting like facts about it and things I find or interesting things I find. Again, really not into like speculating or dramatizing anything. I'm very against clickbait. As Cody, if Cody pitches like a headline or something, and I'm like, I think that sounds too clickbaity. He's like, it's literally what's happening. I'm like, sounds a little provocative, and I know how that sounds. I am fully aware. I've literally posted my dick on Twitter and more, and I know how that sounds coming from me. But when it comes to things like this, I think it's important that to always err on the side of a slightly more boring headline. And I will absolutely concede that. I definitely have the more boring ideas when it comes to like that. And Cody's like,
Y'all, I did show him a video. I believe I showed you the video. Yes, I did. Where I sent him a video for ideas that we could do for little TikTok videos or excerpts that go a little. They're pretty there.
yeah. I
Y'all
mean,
would love them.
yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Well,
um,
you get me a lot with these games we play. Well, we play a game sometimes when we record episodes because, just to kind of start it and have something to do. And I never know if we are or not. And it's always something bizarre that Cody comes up with, which I don't complain about because I throw a lot of weird shit at Cody. And I'm like, hey, I have this great idea. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, it's the first time you're hearing about it in the middle of a live recording. Can we do this? We record this one next. And you're like,
everybody, it's just a little foreplay before we get started.
yeah. That's what he calls it. He calls the
Uh,
first time he called it foreplay. I giggled like I think we had to re-record because I started giggling.
But yeah, the crime stuff. And again, we already recorded an episode of a crime thing involving the Kennedys. That's kind of was an interesting one that I hadn't heard of. But
Oh
then,
yeah,
as Matt is talking about, we'll be recording that one, and so be looking out for those again um, uh, at the end of each month, and they'll be labeled crime. So if you
yeah.
don't want to
And
listen to
it's
that,
not
you
something
won't.
that you're into. I
Not
do
going
want
to
to say
surprise you.
that we don't post anything we post about it, and we never post any like graphic photos. And if there was one that was posted, it would only be because it's relevant to the story, and it would be marked trigger warning. And we never discuss anything. We try to use the most respectful terms possible. Um, and like for example, I did discuss a crime that happened in the '70s from a young girl that was found murdered, but it was because it was the relative of the Kennedy family, and it was a huge thing in the '70s, and it was kind of a discussion on how basically one person's white privilege versus another person's white privilege, and how the young girl did not fare well with it. Also, and her
Mm-hmm.
family didn't either. Um, I don't want to like share too much, but it was the case of Martha Moxley, who was 15 when she was murdered on Halloween Eve in 1975, and so we recorded that yesterday actually. Some stuff we really try to like keep everything in real time, but I can do the lives in real time, but I can't do good quality episodes not in real time because if there's any sort of anything, it just throws me off and I don't have the time. And I don't like to do it on any days where I only have maybe 30 minutes because that is the day a microphone quits working. You might notice that I'm not using my microphone is because it is now being temperamental and doesn't want to work right anymore. So it cuts off or corrupts. So poor Cody.
Chris says, I don't have cell service at work and work because I also block TikTok on Wi-Fi. Well, that is so sad and unfortunate. and it
And Matt
says that Matt
step up
needs
his
to step.
TikTok game. Yeah, he does. I really do. If okay, I realize I am not really that creative. Like I can be an idea person to a point, but I need like you guys are gonna have to just tell me what you want to see and I'll try to recreate it. Like I cannot, and don't please don't ask for TikTok dances. Like oh god, like I don't really want to get canceled or embarrassed. I don't want to
I
embarrass
have
myself.
sent I have sent Matt a few TikToks that I've done that I've not posted. Uh,
Have you? Are you sure you sent these to me?
yeah, I thought I sent one to you recently.
I did not.
Um,
If it was during
let me see.
finals, I'm so sorry. I do not remember. Oh, I
Let me
remember
see.
seeing TikToks, but I didn't remember them being of you doing them. But
Let's see. Yeah, I did the lady with the wine, the champagne bottle.
oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I thought you did post it. That was pretty funny.
No,
No,
they're a
Matt's
little
not doing
risque.
Chris. Yes, TikTok dances for Matt. No, I no.
Everybody can dance.
Sometimes Cody, people realize they can, and they spend so much time thinking about that they can, and not whether or not that they should. You know. Let's remember, at some points, I am a 35-year-old man who with very little rhythm. Give me a piano and some sheet music, and um, we'll talk. But
There are some probably cute things that you and David could do for TikTok. There's cute couple like things, like put a finger down if you've done this, and so on. No, they're
okay,
all they're all like
Johnny and Paul,
they're not.
you said seconded, but which to what? Me doing them or not doing them? That's I need to know.
Yeah, that would be the question. Johnny just followed me on TikTok.
Look at that real time, like look at oh God, 2022, y'all.
Yeah, I have not put or posted a lot on
I
TikTok
follow people
recently,
on
but
Matt would lose instantly with a finger down, finger thing down. So basically, I'm a giant whore, is what. Yeah.
well, it's not always that, it like, put a finger down if you like ice cream. I don't know, or different. It's they're pretty, they're not necessarily risque actually because it is TikTok. So you have to,
Chris, I am 2 seconds from roasting your ass with like all the love in the world, but bitch, it's coming. Johnny Apollo, you doing TikTok dances? Yes, please. Oh my god. Well, I'll give you lots of material to write about.
yeah, it's like an instant poll
Can
here,
you guys just
instant
send me?
poll.
Okay, well, if they are, can you just send me like the low energy ones so I don't get roasted too bad? Like,
There is this guy who like will teach you how to do the TikTok dances. And he'll go step by step. I think that's on YouTube. He puts that on YouTube. The step by step of how you do popular ones. There was a lot of really good ones I thought around Christmas time. I haven't seen any more recent ones. I don't know if there's a new trend of dance trend going on right now. But yeah, some of them look really easy or easy-ish, and then some of them are pretty intense dances. Um, let's see. I did have a TikTok, I think. Let's see if I can pull it up and I'll share it. It's one of the TikToks. I have not actually sent this to Matt yet. So Matt hasn't even actually seen it.
oh god,
We'll see if I can pull
are
it
you gonna
up
post
here.
the TikTok that you sent me? You should post it for everybody since we're roasting the
I'll
shit out of
post that
me.
one.
Post it here.
Okay, let's see. I don't want it to be too loud, but
If gay not good, why penis and butt feel nice?
the question of the day.
I mean,
See, you just got to do stuff like that.
the problem is, I think like this when I spontaneously think of weird shit, it's in that moment tailored to that person. So I don't know if it'd be funny for everybody
Mm.
else. Um, I texted a friend the other day. I said, "How's my favorite bitch ass?" And he goes, "He's sleepy. How's my favorite colonizer?" And I was like, I was like ready to sign a communication and transportation agreement, and he was like, "What?" He's like, "I know what those words mean individually, but not as a whole sentence." I said, "To run a train on that ass." It was all
uh,
in one text conversation, but you know, like it's one of those things. Like if you're gonna be inappropriate, you have to like kind of tailor it to that person. That's what makes that person fun to you or funny. You know, and why
mhm.
Johnny Apollo won't let me DM him before 9:30 in the morning Central Time.
Chris says that guy G Spot yo. uh, yeah, I love TikTok. I'm obsessed with TikTok. It's all I do
Put a
TikTok more
finger
than
down if you
Twitter.
what? You know. Actually, I have to
I'm
use
gonna
this hand.
find you
Okay,
one, and we're
whenever
gonna.
I do this,
There was
it pulls my other finger, the rest of my hand down. Does it do that to you? Now hold your hand up, because it doesn't do it to my other hand. Like, so if you push your first
two.
finger down, your index finger, does it pull your other fingers down a lot? Okay, then I guess my hand is just fucked up. Because when I do it with my right hand, my pinky, it doesn't. Man, there might be some real neurological issues here.
Diagnosed right now.
Like, just an observation. We're not doing anything about it. We're just noticing. Johnny Paul, you know
I
better.
I did also on one of our recordings beforehand. I did bring up this nurse that I bring up occasionally on the show and
Yeah,
his
he did.
TikToks. I mean, isn't this an amazing TikTok right here? Do you even need to hear what he's saying?
Cody, you have
So
a
Matt,
type. You have a type. Like, you have a very specific
do I?
type.
I don't think I do.
Really? Let me go through my phone and see all the pictures that you show me, like your pictures of your friends from Orlando.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Chris, right pinky down, and I look like a claw machine. Oh, same. Like my it's. I start putting fingers down, and I'm like T-Rexing it. You know?
Gosh. It happened when we weren't doing lives, but did you hear about the dinosaur embryo they found basically fully
Yes,
intact
they
and
did
the
find it
baby
fully intact. Of course,
dinosaur,
I read. Of
lots
course, I
of
read about that.
feathers.
Yes,
I mean, it was
others
basically
have
a
been found.
bird.
Right. Well, yes, they're. Cody, Cody and his Helix Royal attacks. Right. Like the more you
I
think about
mean,
it, the worse it gets. Are you about to tell us you're
not
Bellamy instead?
not as much these days, sadly. I actually have not. I have not even looked at their website recently. Apparently, like they have gotten I don't know if they've merged with somebody or gotten something. They're purchasing videos from like Mexico, but there's like a segment of videos and everyone's speaking Spanish, and I don't think they're shooting that, but they are opening it up to non-white boys, I guess, which was kind of their thing.
Yeah, a lot of them. When I started kind of realizing, I'm like, man, okay, they're fit, they're pretty, but like they all look the same to me, and that just really turned me off. Because I was never attracted to my own body type of myself. Like it's wild. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh, they're very cute, they're very whatever. And someone would be like, well, if it happened to be a more twink like guy, they're like, well, you're built the same, you're really attractive, and I'm like, no, you know, I just wasn't into. I guess I wasn't into myself. Like you know, like, and I didn't think, honestly, I didn't think anybody was. And I think I'm all about like some self love. You know, be body positive with yourself. And then you meet people who really are in love with themselves, and you're like, oh, like, well, that is unattractive. And you hear them talk, and you're like, wow, this is what penis repellent sounds like. Like, you know, in word form, it's spelled hey, WYD at 2 a.m. I mean, of course, you like go do it, but I mean, like, still, it's bad.
Well, here's Johnny with the info here. Ironically, Helix has been sharing content from a Mexican-based studio recently.
Is that how they're
Well,
getting COVID protocol?
Well, they're still shooting other stuff, but I guess they just wanted more content. Um, we can always count on Johnny to update us on that.
I'm really excited. You're right. We always know Johnny Apollo has the scoop. I was telling him earlier today that I really, so he and I are friends off
Mhm.
off here, and so when we talk on Twitter, we talk about everything. And whenever the subject turns something more serious or whatever, I always love his unfiltered thoughts because he is very talented. And so getting a chance to see his unedited, unfiltered thoughts, not like a think piece or anything like that, getting that in DM form, or if we're talking on FaceTime or something, it's just always fantastic because it's so enlightening to me, and I always feel like I learn so much. So I was just telling him that recently. And I always love that he has, like, I know some bizarre things or things that you wouldn't expect me to have like any knowledge of, but he has like that knowledge. And that pop culture knowledge is so important because it is such a reflection of what's happening in our world. And I think it gives you especially Johnny, gives him a unique insight into what's happening in the world. So that's why I think I always appreciate the lens through which he looks and observes, because he's seeing it not only through his own eyes, but through the observations of this like global pop culture, because he knows so much about like everybody and everything, not just Britney, not just Ariana, not just Mariah. I think it's beautiful. So it's just me. I hope everybody else appreciates Johnny as much as I do. But you guys, it has been just over an hour, so
It
it is.
has.
When we return next week, I will be at the end of week 1, and hopefully I don't look exhausted like I did last semester on some of the lives when I watch playback and everything, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
boy. And some of that was my testosterone levels have been plunging for about a year, and they have finally gone way too low. So, which causes confusion and memory loss. So it makes it really hard to like follow along.
Yeah.
It's made things really, really hard. So, hopefully, as that's starting to rebound, it will make it better. So, hopefully, makes my brain a little more clear, and it's not such a struggle to
Yeah.
work.
Chris says he is absolutely amazing. One day, I hope we can meet talking about Johnny.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us all. I'm gonna go.
Yes.
And it is dinner time here, because since the Chinese restaurant canceled our order, David ordered McDonald's, and they ended up getting here like way earlier than they said they were gonna be. So I would like hot food tonight.
So it's a McDonald's night.
It is apparently
Well,
McDonald's.
everybody.
After I went for a 30-minute run today outside.
Well, you're prepared then. Everybody, again, thank you for joining us for another episode. We'll be back again live next week. And then after that, the next week, podcast episodes will start coming out. So everyone have a great weekend. Bye.
Yes. Bye.